A quiet highway winds its way deep into the forest. A light mist has settled over the cold Virginia night. Few pass by, the air strangely still. In this silence, only the distant chirping of crickets can be heard. But that night there was something else in that silence, something unseen, and no one ever saw it again. In the late 1980s, the Colonial Parkway stretched across Virginia. This historic coastal road, approximately 37 kilometers long, was known for its scenery and was a popular spot for couples taking romantic walks. But between 1986 and 1989, it became the scene of one of the most mysterious and chilling unsolved murder series in American history. 4 couples, that is, 8 people, shared the same horrific fate. They vanished without a trace, and their bodies were later found. But there were no signs of robbery. The cars were still running, and their belongings were left untouched. It was as if someone had deliberately lured them there. October 12, 1986. Kathy was a former Navy officer. Rebecca was a student at William and Mary University. They were happy together, but the time was the mid-1980s. It was still considered a huge taboo for a gay couple to be openly together, especially in places like Virginia. That night, their car was found at a spot north of Colonial Parkway. A white 1980 Honda Civic, doors open, ignition on. Inside, 2 women were found crammed into the car. They had been suffocated. There was no blood in the car, but there was a smell of diesel fuel. Someone had tried to set the car on fire, but failed. The police searched the scene for clues, but all they found was darkness. Kathy's uniform was neatly folded, as if someone had shown respect. This detail would later spark many conspiracy theories. One year later, September 1987. 17-year-old Robin was secretly meeting with someone older than her, 20-year-old David. On the night they were last seen, David's black pickup truck was found abandoned near Colonial Parkway. The doors were open, the radio was on, the headlights were on. A week later, 2 bodies were found on the banks of the James River. They had been shot in the head. Again, the wallets, jewelry, everything was in place. This was not a robbery. It was like a message. In April 1988, 2 college students, Kathy Haley and Keith Call, set out to return home after watching a movie. Their car was found at the entrance to Colonial Parkway. There were no signs of a struggle inside, but both of them were missing. Months later, there were no traces of them except for a few personal items found in the woods. Their bodies were never found. This detail led to the series being associated with paranormal rumors. Some witnesses claimed to have seen a glowing vehicle on the parkway at night. Others said they saw someone conducting a fake police patrol around the road. In September 1989, Anna and her boyfriend Daniel set off to visit a friend over the weekend. When they failed to return, their families reported them missing. 8 weeks later, they were found in the woods, several kilometers from their car, their bones intertwined. It was as if someone had deliberately placed them there. Again, a similar pattern. Personal belongings intact, no signs of struggle in the car, no sexual assault, only death. In the early 1990s, the FBI combined these files and linked them to a single serial killer. But no DNA matches were found. Some detectives suggested that the killer might be a law enforcement officer because all the victims appeared to have been stopped inside the park. The car doors were always open, the headlights were always on, and the handbrakes were not engaged, as if someone had said, "Stop," and they had trusted and stopped. According to another theory, the killer was a member of the military. This is because all the victims lived or worked in areas close to the naval base. Kathy Thomas's military background strengthened this theory. Some researchers, however, believe the incident was much more than just a serial killer. Dark scenarios such as a covert government operation, a cleanup carried out by a naval intelligence officer are still circulating. But there is no evidence. Nothing at all. From 1986 to 1989, 4 couples were murdered along Colonial Parkway. Then suddenly, nothing remained. The murders stopped. The killer vanished. The files were shelved. And in Virginia's coastal forests, that road still stands there. If you go there at night, you might hear the sound of an engine in the wind, but maybe it's just a trick of the memory. Or maybe someone is still watching that road.